It's true, but also I would add that since this is such a absolutely deeply traumatic thing that we've gone through.
That's true, but I'd also add that this is an absolutely deeply traumatic thing we've gone through. 5 words. That's all she posted. Just 5 words on an Instagram story at the end of the night her mother-in-law died, without anyone picking up the phone to call her. I'm angry because the love was real. Suzy Lamb wrote that sentence on May 7th, 2026. Then she put her phone down. And those 5 words have been shared, quoted, and returned to thousands of times since. Because they are not what grief looks like when someone is performing for an audience. They are what grief looks like when someone has already done the hardest work, already chosen forgiveness 1,000 times, already grieved the living version of the relationship long before they had to grieve the death, and they are still standing. Still standing. Still telling the truth. This video is about Suzy Lamb, not as a supporting character in Jonathan Lamb's story, not as a footnote in the Daystar television network scandal, but as the person who was present at the key words that matter. Suzy Lamb, Daystar television network, Jonathan Lamb, the baby Lamb case, the green room, the chiropractor, Jai and Tanuja Sagar, the GPS tracker, the private investigator, the Instagram post, and 5 words that tell you more about one woman's character than an entire institution's press releases ever could. To understand who Suzy Lamb is, you have to understand where she started. She did not grow up inside the Lamb family dynasty. She did not inherit her position. She was born Susanna Sagar, daughter of Jai and Tanuja Sagar, who would later become Daystar employees themselves. According to reporting by Hindustan Times and others, Suzy studied divinity at Christ for the Nations Institute, while also earning a business degree at Dallas Baptist University. She built her own professional identity and faith before she ever carried the Lamb name. She married Jonathan Lamb, eldest son of Daystar co-founders Marcus and Joni Lamb. She co-hosted The Green Room with him since 2014 and was earning a $90,000 annual salary as co-host and producer by 2022. She wasn't just the boss's son's wife, she was a television professional who carried real responsibility. And here's something the coverage of this story has rarely said clearly enough. Suzy Lamb loved Joni Lamb, not as a performance, not as an obligation, but genuinely, as a daughter loves a mother. When Marcus Lamb died in November 2021 from COVID-19 complications, Suzy saw how hard Joni's first wedding anniversary without him would be. So she took her to New York for a Broadway show. They cried together. That wasn't duty. That was real love. According to Suzy's account to the Roy Report, Joni had been secretly grooming her for years to become the matriarch of the Lamb dynasty. They would meet privately so other family members wouldn't get jealous. Joni would tell people she was getting her nails done when she was actually with Suzy. Joni had called Suzy a keeper and referred to her as her daughter-in-love. Suzy believed she was receiving deep mentorship about family, leadership, and carrying the weight of a ministry. But everything changed. In January 2017, Suzy was sexually assaulted at the Daystar facility by an unlicensed chiropractor who had previously lost his license over allegations involving a minor. Marcus and Joni believed he had changed. According to
years later, in early 2024, the suppressed trauma came rushing back. Suzy recognized the same silencing pattern in what she believed had happened with her own daughter 5 years earlier. That realization is what finally pushed her to speak. Let's trace the timeline of the child abuse allegations. In late 2020, Suzy noticed troubling behavioral changes in her daughter. In November 2020, the child disclosed abuse to her mother, describing it in graphic detail. Suzy called Joni, who told her not to go to the police, but to bring the child to her. After that private meeting, the child stopped talking about it completely. Jonathan and Suzy have both stated publicly that it's like it never happened.
Daystar has denied all allegations of any cover-up. In August 2021, at the family retreat in Miramar Beach, Florida, Jonathan found their daughter alone in a room with the family member they were concerned about, Josh Brown, publicly referred to as Pete, husband of Rachel Lamb Brown. Josh Brown has strongly denied all allegations. Colleyville police investigated and closed the case in May 2025 due to insufficient evidence. However, Texas law has no statute of limitations for certain child sexual abuse crimes. Susie publicly stated, Pete was not exonerated. The case will reopen the second new evidence comes out. In July 2023, 16 months before Jonathan was fired, Susie was removed from the green room. The trigger, according to Susie and Jonathan, was their refusal to read a viewer comment praising Joni's new marriage on air due to theological convictions. After a heated meeting, which Jonathan recorded, Susie was fired 2 days later. Jonathan's formal email confrontation and Joni's reply are both documented. Susie was fired first. That sequence was not accidental. It sent a clear message. Despite this, they stayed for another 16 months, still trying to seek accountability from within, for their daughter's sake. Then came the surveillance, GPS tracker on the car, private investigator following them, salary cuts, performance improvement plans. Susie's parents, Jai and Tanuja Sagar, had their positions eliminated and salaries slashed simply because their daughter refused to stay silent. On November 15, 2024, Jonathan was fired. The head of security delivered the